Welcome to the Becoming Confident podcast, journey to building healthy self-esteem, the place where I initiate raw conversations on topics I believe contributes to and is impacted by self-esteem and confidence. If you are on a journey or you're ready to start your journey to becoming confident and you feel alone in the process, then this podcast is for you. I am your host, Cleopatra Williams, and I can't wait to support you in becoming your most confident self. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. It is the world's largest online therapy platform service. See, I know how important it is when you're on your becoming confident journey to prioritize your mental health. Back in April 2022 is when I started BetterHelp. I was falling apart and I was ready to just give up. However, I knew that giving up wasn't an option. What I absolutely love about BetterHelp is that I was able to choose a woman of color and someone who was faith-based. Both super important to me. They found me a licensed therapist within 24 hours, and I've been rocking with her ever since. Now, did I mention that it's 100% online? Yeah, we love that, right? So, if you are ready to make your mental health a priority on your becoming confident journey, BetterHelp is giving you 15% off your first month when you sign up using my link that will be placed in the show notes, and you can just enter my code Cleopatra Williams, or you can just go ahead to betterhelp.com/Cleopatra Williams. I hope this helps you guys. Welcome back to another episode of Becoming Confident Podcast with me, Cleopatra. Today we have such a special guest. Her name is Alexis. She's my girl. She's another guest that I've known for a little bit of time. I met her at the Queen Warrior Conference back in December. We clicked instantly. She was the first person that I met. We've been rocking ever since. Like, this is my girl for sure. So she is a mom of 3 boys. She is married. She lives in Rhode Island and she's from Brooklyn. I remember like when I first met you and you said Rhode Island, I'm like, who lives in Rhode Island?
That's literally everyone's reaction to where I live. Like Rhode Island, is that even?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's the smallest state. I know,
Yeah.
so tiny.
So tiny. I'm like, who lives there? But hey, you do. The first person I ever met that lives in Rhode Island. Well, it's the first time for everything. So, Alexis, what's up, girl? How's your morning going?
Hey, my morning's going good. Got the boys out of the house. I'm like, listen, I need quiet. I need peace for at least a little bit. Get
Mm-hmm.
out. So they're outside doing their thing,
Yes.
and I'm here rocking with you.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
I do. So first of all, hello, everybody. First and foremost, I want to say congratulations to you. I want to
Oh,
give you your
thank
flowers right here,
you.
right now. I'm super proud of you to be someone like you just said, like we met recently, but my love, I love you so
Oh,
much.
thank
And I'm
you.
super duper duper proud of you. Can't wait to see how much you blow up. You're just doing your thing and you're motivating me to keep doing my thing. So I appreciate
Oh,
you.
thank you.
Well, who am I? Most days I'm still trying to figure that out, to be honest. But my name is Alexis. I'm a mom of 3 boys, a wife, like you said. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I now live in Rhode Island. Well, I went from Brooklyn to Mass and then from Mass to Rhode Island. So, yeah, so now I live here now with my boys. I am a content creator. I like to make content on TikTok, and I am a Queen Warrior ambassador. So, those are some of the things that I do. I'm a writer. I love to write. I don't have a specific area. I love poetry. I love writing like little short stories, things like that. So, that's who I am.
I love that. I love that about you. I didn't know that you wrote.
Yes, I have like my notes are full. I'm in the middle right now of trying to write my first book. So
Ah!
that's the goal that I'm putting out there into the universe, and I know I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you made a decision, it's gonna happen, and I love that. So, what would be like the main subject of the book?
So my genre is honestly, I grew up, I don't know if you grew up reading any of the like urban books
No.
and like, well, the coldest winter ever,
Mhm.
those type of books that we weren't supposed to be reading, but they were in the school library.
Oh my god.
I grew up on a lot of those. So that's honestly my interest, like fiction, but like kind of like real life. I grew up in the hood. I grew up, I'm half black, half Puerto Rican.
Uh-huh.
I have like all the world. And I feel like I just want to put a story out there.
I can't wait to see it. You're gonna
Thank
do it.
you.
You're gonna do it. You know, I know you. Don't get in your head.
I
Just
won't.
do it. Right?
She knows. She says that because I'll message her like, "Girl, I don't know. I'm in my head." And it's just, but she's always my lifeline. I love you.
Yes, I love you. Do not get in your head. Just do it. Do it even before you're ready. Just put something out. Just like put it out.
Yes.
And now that you're telling the whole world,
Now I have to do it.
now you have to do it. You can't backtrack.
That's exactly why I said it. Yes.
Yes, no backtracking. Okay, so now I want to get into your journey. I know who you are now. You're still figuring yourself out, which most are, right? It doesn't
Yes.
matter how old you are, you're still evolving and trying to find out why you're here, your purpose, and everything. So, where are you at in your journey from like beginner, middle? I know you're not at the end yet.
Not at the end. So I would definitely say I'm in the middle. Personally, I feel like my confidence journey is a roller coaster, right? So I have a lot of up days, a lot of good days. Right now, I'm in an up season. I'm happy. I'm going after things that I want to go after. But I definitely know that it drops at any moment. Things change, problems at home, problems with bills, like just real life stuff, right? And those things I feel like affect me sometimes. But I just want to say that it's something that I have to work on every day, every single day. So I would say I'm in the middle, but I'm still working every day. And I take like the tools that I've learned that got me this far to keep pushing me if I ever feel like I am in one of those seasons where I'm not feeling my best. I just use the tools that I've learned and like, all right, girl, you got this. Just constantly talking to myself, trying to give myself that reassurance that it's just a season. You're gonna get through it. Your sun's gonna shine again.
Yeah, it is. It's literally just a season. You ever realize, I was just saying this to someone the other day, like you literally always get through it.
Always. And then you look back and it's like, wow, the solution was right there. But like sometimes we get in our emotions and in our feelings and like you can't see past the clouds. And then
Mhm.
once you actually sit down and figure it out, it's like, wow, the sun was there all along. You just got to keep going.
Exactly. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. So I want you to take us down memory lane. Tell me about your childhood. Let me hear who Alexis was growing up.
Okay. So I am the oldest of
Mhm.
three in my mom's house. So I grew up with my
Okay.
mom, just my mom. My dad was, in and out, but I grew up with my mom. Three siblings, the oldest. In our age growing up, you had a lot of responsibility being the oldest. I was home with it. Like my mom would go to work, don't open the door for anyone, don't answer the phone, like be in charge of making food, things like that. Like that was my childhood. I had a lot of responsibilities as a kid, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times I think parents don't realize things are also going on in school. Like I know in one of your previous podcasts you were speaking on, like middle school and the struggles
Yeah.
of middle school and things like that. Yeah. So like I constantly was being made fun of for like my teeth were crooked. I just got braces as an adult. My teeth were
Me
crooked.
too.
Really? That's crazy.
I had a whole gap.
Listen, I had these 2 teeth behind the front teeth. It was bad. Like people used to call me a bunny rabbit, piranha, a shark.
Oh my
It
gosh.
the list went on, honestly. Like I heard a lot like butterface, like everything looks good but her face and things like that. So growing up, kids are really mean and
They
I
really
feel
are.
like that made me struggle a lot. Like it made me really shy, like internalized, like kind of made me
Yeah.
too like a people pleaser because like I know that you're not gonna accept me for my looks, like, but I'm a nice person. And that was a struggle. That was definitely a struggle.
No, yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. And did you ever like talk to your mom about any of these things?
Oh no.
No.
I didn't like I always wanted to be strong. Like just handle it. It's not that serious. Just keep going. And honestly, growing up, you see when your parents have problems or issues or like things going on, so you don't want to really add to that. So I think that that was the person that I was. I never wanted
Yeah.
to put it on anybody else.
And so you develop like this whole independence, right? You just have to be strong because you don't
Definitely.
want to be like a what's the thing called? you just said it. You don't want to put your baggage on other people, even though it's like your mother. You don't want
I
to because you
know.
see them struggling. You see them going through their own stuff
Right.
and working and everything. And so you kept a lot of that to yourself.
Yeah. Just internalized it, just kept going.
So how did you process it? Like, how did you deal with it?
I think that's when I got into writing. Like, I would write a lot of my emotions as poetry. A lot of the things that I was going through, any struggles that we were going through, I would just write it out as poetry, and that's how I got out a lot of my stuff. Like, I would enter poetry contests and all of that, but writing definitely became my outlet.
That's awesome. So you said that you were a people pleaser, right? Because you're like, well, they're
Easy.
not going to like me for my looks. So I might as well be this bubbly person, which you are. Is that why? So have you always been a bubbly person or you made yourself a bubbly person just for that?
I mean, I definitely have my attitude, right? Like, I have my attitude days, but I feel like, yes, I get around people and I'm like, because I've been misunderstood. So I want to make sure, like, I'm not too hard judgmentally. Like, if you're saying something that I don't agree with, I can internalize it, not agree with it, not switch over, but understand you. Understand that that's your point of view. This is how you viewed life. Like, we all go through life
Yeah.
differently. So I'm not sure what you've been through, but okay, I understand you, and I'll be the friend that's still there. And I think, yes, like, I became this person that I want people to be able to depend on me because I know how it felt to not have somebody to
Yeah.
depend on.
And okay, so you became that person, but did you have someone to like spill all your emotions to ever?
I think I still don't really do that. I try to like, my husband, a lot of times he'll tell you, like, he'll be like, "Oh, I feel this way." But the moment that I feel like, like, it's too heavy or it's too much,
Yeah.
I'll take it back. I'll just keep it inside.
But why?
Because I don't wanna be a burden to anybody, I think. I don't want anybody to feel like they have to find the right words or, like, give me
Mhm.
all this help when I know that everyone else has their own problems. I think that's how I see it mostly. Everybody has problems, so just keep going, girl.
It sounds like you don't feel like you're deserving of, like, comforting pretty much.
It might be. That might be true. I think that's why, like, I'll occasionally, like, reach out to you and I'll, like, tell you something random. I'm like, "Well, like, she has a lot of experience or, like, therapy and things like that, like, maybe I could," and then you'll answer me and I'm like, "Oh, she's so right. I am not stuck. I am not this." It's like, sometimes hearing words from people, like, amazing people come into your life and it's for a reason,
Yeah.
and I think that I got that from you.
Thank you, girl. Thank you so much. And first of all, you're not a burden. That's number one, right? Like everyone needs somebody, and you're always giving, giving, giving. There's something that I'm learning about the art of receiving, right? Like, and I was the same way, trust me. And I can still be the same way where, like, I don't want to, like, put any of my issues on anybody whatsoever. Like, I don't want to tell nobody nothing. If I'm struggling with money, if I'm struggling with anything, like nobody in this world will ever know. And what happens is like it sometimes you stop like the blessings from coming to you, like for someone who want to help you, but because you don't ask or you don't let them, is like you're like stopping yourself from receiving. But you like to give, but it's hard for you to receive. And I get that. I
Yes.
get that 100%. It could be really hard to receive when you don't feel like you're deserving of it.
It's like even as simple as a compliment,
Yeah.
like, it's very hard for me to just take a compliment as it is, like, just a thank you. I feel like I have to be like, "Thank you, no, but you are. No, you're beautiful. No, like,
Yeah.
I want somebody to feel special and feel loved too, and I don't know why I'm so fearful of just taking.
Yeah. It's gonna be okay. Like, practice receiving and taking the compliment because you deserve the compliment. Like, you really
Thank you.
do. Don't be afraid. And so, let me ask you something, like, that communication, like you said, is sometimes hard for you to, like, open up to your husband. How has that affected your relationship?
It's funny because, yeah, I when it comes to him, right? If it's something to do with the relationship, I'm so quick. I will address it. I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it until the issue is resolved, right? When it comes to that. But when it comes to like my own personal in struggles or mentally or whatever, I don't like to put that on other people because I feel like a lot of the times we struggle and only we can fix it. Like, I think that that's where my mind is at. Like, all right, if I'm struggling because let's say I didn't get this job because of the interview and that was my mistake. I could have done better. I don't want to put that on someone who's the sole provider in the house already. He already has to deal with all the stress of home. I'm like, all right, there's things that I just keep to myself. But when it comes to the relationship, I'm very open. Like he's like, "Why do you want to talk about everything?" I'm like, because I want it to be fixed." But yeah, so in that aspect, I don't think that we have a big issue. He's not a
Mhm.
big talker though. But I don't think we have a big issue there. It's more
More self,
self.
yeah.
Like anything to do with myself. Yeah.
Do you plan on finding someone that you can lay it all out to so you don't feel like you're a burden to anyone?
Yes, and that's when I asked you about the therapy and things like that. So once, like, financially and I get everything in order, I that's gonna be my next step to get into therapy and find someone that I like that, I feel comfortable enough with that I can speak to. So, yeah. And then it feels like an outside source. I'm not gonna put it on anyone. Like, this is somebody who is basically there to listen.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like we do have to realize, like at one point, like we are like responsible, right? We are responsible for our growth, we're responsible for our self esteem and what's going to happen. And I know that, like, for example, money can sometimes be scary to spend to invest in yourself, especially like, therapy is not something that's cheap. Like, let's be honest.
Not at all.
Therapy is not something that's cheap, and it can definitely be like, "Oh my god, should I do this? Should I do this?" But let me tell you, you are always going to be like your biggest and best investment that you make for sure, 100%, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, okay, I have a question. What motivates you to get up in the morning?
I would say my children definitely motivate me a lot, but Queen Warriors helped me so much. Like before the pandemic, life was different, way different. I would get up 9 to 5 every day, kids would go to daycare, things like that. Then the pandemic hit and I find myself home all the time, which gave me way too much time to think, way too much time to be in my own head about random things that on a normal day, if I was working a normal 9 to 5, these wouldn't even be things that I would be thinking about.
So what was you thinking about?
Everything, like, what if one of us gets sick? Like, you
Yeah.
don't really know what to I didn't know what to expect with that. I had a newborn, like, I'm like, what if one of these kids gets sick? Now I'm homeschooling children. Like,
Yeah.
I've never been a teacher.
Mhm.
Like I'm not certified for this. I have a newborn at home, so I'm taking care of a baby while also on the phone with clients all the time because I was a paralegal at the time. So I'm like trying to juggle all these different things and I don't even know what's going to happen with the world. Like, do I get this vaccine? Do I not? Like, there's so many things going on, so much information being pushed to us that I'm like, I think I'm going crazy.
And is that when you started Queen Warriors?
That is when I started Queen Warriors. So,
Okay.
do you want my story?
Yeah, so I definitely want to get into that story because this is a good story. I love it. I love it so much because there's so many women that's going to be able to relate to this story. So, I want you to like walk from the very beginning,
Okay.
right? I know it was after you had your was it your last
Yep.
baby?
My third
Okay.
son.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, I'm going to set the scene for you guys. I had my third son in April 2020. Boom, right in the middle. What things shut down in March, I had him in April. A crazy experience to say the least. I gave birth on my own just because things like
Oh
they
my
wouldn't allow
god.
the kids. Yeah, they wouldn't allow the kids into the hospital. We had nowhere to send them in the middle of a pandemic. I don't know if they're gonna be exposed. My husband had to stay home and FaceTime me during my birth. That's how that went. It was very crazy. They wouldn't let you leave the room. You had a mask on the whole time. Scary situation. So from there, I'm used to 3 months, you bounce back, you're back to work, you're back active. Well, we're in the middle of a pandemic. There was no going back outside. So I'm in the house all day long, hating my body, hating the way I looked because no matter what I did, I couldn't lose weight. I wasn't active enough. I was inside my house all day. Like the furthest I went was to the bedroom, which is not
Yeah.
very far away, you know? So my body was not active, my body was not changing, and I was unhappy. I was at a point where I didn't want people to invite me out. I didn't want, like, if there were family get togethers, I didn't want to get there because I didn't want people to make comments like, a lot of times in the Spanish and Black community, like, people are comfortable with just saying whatever they want to you,
Yeah.
and it's not always the best thing, right, for you.
Yeah.
So, I remember one day, I already didn't wanna go out. I already was very self-conscious. I was very unhappy, didn't wanna take pictures, things like that, and, one day I had a family member tell me I went to her house and she had me try on some dress, and I'm like, "No, I don't like the way it looks on me. It makes me look big." And she said, "Well, you are big." And I said, "Okay." Like, I honestly, because of the person that I am, my
Yeah.
feelings, they get hurt so easy, and I just remember just internalizing that, like, yeah, see, everybody can see it. It's not just a me thing. Because a lot of times, like, people will tell you, "Oh, you're the only one that sees your flaws." So at that moment, it opened my eyes to know everybody sees exactly what I'm seeing. Everybody sees how disgusting I look or however I felt at that time. So I decided that surgery is what I needed to do. That I didn't want to feel that way anymore. I was so unhappy, so sad that other people could see it, so depressed in my house. I said, "Okay, I'm going to get surgery." And so, I looked up, I did my research for doctors and all this until I found someone in Miami and put a deposit down. I did all the whole process.
Not was it Doctor Miami?
No, Doctor
No.
Miami had the longest waiting list ever, and I was like, "Should I wait? No, I wanna be happy now." That's what I
Oh
said.
my gosh.
So, some random doctor, right? I
Mhm.
actually even found negative things about him, but I wanted it so bad
Oh my gosh.
that and he was the one that was affordable. All of these are red flags. I am
Red
very
flags.
aware. I am very aware.
Super red
So,
flags.
so I'm like, okay, he's affordable. You know, he has a few reviews, but you know, he hasn't like no one has passed away because of him. And I'm just yeah, I'm like, I'm going for it. And my husband, he's like, okay, like if this is what you want to do, I'm not going to make a comment either way. Do whatever's gonna make you happy. Fine. I put a $500 deposit down. That was in April, and my surgery was scheduled for the summer. And all I had on my timeline, on my Instagram, on my TikTok was surgeons, people that
Yeah.
had their body done, like, that's all I had.
Oh my
And,
gosh.
so I was like, "Okay," like, I'm hyping myself up for it. Mother's Day rolls around, and I get a text message from Queen Warriors, "Oh, free 7-day trial, like, just try it." So I run to my husband, I'm like, "Babe, I wanna try this." And he's like, "How many things are you going to do at once?" And I'm like, "Well, it's free. Like, what is there really to lose? It's working out." And he's like, I just think that you need to." He was so against it. He was like, "No, like you want to do too many." I wanted to do all the diets. I wanted to
Mhm.
do everything. He's like, "You want to do too many things." No, and I was like, I'm still gonna do it. So I signed up. I signed up for Queen Warriors and I put it on the TV. And the first thing I think that captured me, the music. I love music. I
Yes.
adore music. Music will
Mhm.
get me through anything. So I put it and I'm like, okay, like
Right?
this feels
Mhm.
young and hip. This does not feel like one of those things where I'm gonna be, you know, like dying through. Then she comes on. Then she starts with the positive affirmations. And I'm like, this all sounds weird to me because as women, I don't know if you also grew up this way, but I feel like as women, like we're taught, don't be conceited, don't be cocky, don't be like too much on yourself. It can come off as arrogant. So like I
You
feel
hear
like
a lot of that, yeah.
yeah. So like I strayed away a lot from like feeling myself. Like I never
Yeah.
wanted to feel myself because I didn't want people to think
Girl,
I think I'm all
all
that.
that.
Oh,
Ooh.
hate it.
Hate it. Oh, she thinks she's cute. She thinks she's all
Yes.
that. But you know what's crazy? What I've learned is that, like, that's just them really wishing that they felt that way.
Yes. And I
Pretty
didn't learn
much.
that until now, deep in my
Exactly.
30s, and I'm like, "Oh, that's not even a me issue, that's a them problem."
That's a them problem.
Yes, like
They're looking at you and they're like, "Oh, I wish I can be that way." She thinks she's all that.
right.
It's not even like that. If they only knew. The thing, you know what's so crazy to me? I'm gonna let you get back to your story. What's crazy is that we both grew up with low self-esteem, right? We all had like those
Mhm.
issues in middle school, but the people who was picking on you, bullying you, thinking you all that and whatnot, they had no clue what's going on in your own head. And the thing is, we didn't think
Nothing.
we were all that. We thought we was ugly. We thought we were, not deserving, worthless, unvaluable. Like we didn't even know if we wanted to live. And the
Yep,
whole time they're thinking, "Oh, she thinks she's all that." But the reality is that you really don't know what's going on in someone else's head, like
at all.
whatsoever.
At all. Like,
Whatsoever.
honestly, I even struggled with smiling. Like, a lot of the times I would smile and I'd do this. I still catch myself doing it.
Yeah.
But because when you're self-conscious about
Yeah.
something and like you don't want people to see. So
Yeah.
while you're over here thinking I think I'm all that, I'm literally like making sure that I'm presentable to people because I don't feel all that. And it's crazy how people will do that to you, try to shrink you down. But again, these are all things that I learned through this process of Queen Warriors, right? So I start working out and I do it, and then I'm like, "Oh, I can't wait to do this again tomorrow."
Ooh.
And then I find myself looking forward to I am not an exercise person because that's the funny thing. Like anytime I talk to people about Queen Warriors, "No, I don't wanna work out." Girl, I am not an exercise person. I'm not one of those people that wake up at 5 in the morning. I wanna be, but I'm not there yet, right? I'm not up at 5 in the morning and ready to go with a protein shake and ready to go, no. But I found something that I love,
Yeah.
something that I'm looking forward to, something to, like, ease my mind and, pour into me, which helped me pour into myself. I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I can see it." And then during that process, my body changed. I'm down 40 pounds now. I'm super excited about that.
Yay.
Can't tell me nothing. You cannot get me in any clothes.
I see you. I'm like, "Oh, look at her."
But, like, that definitely built me up to the point where I'm like, now I wanna build everybody else up.
Yeah.
Now I'm at the point well, yeah, I always was that, like, I always was the person to be the first one to give you a compliment or the first one to tell you how good you're doing or how proud I am. But now I feel like I have a lot of the tools, like, a lot of the I'm going to build you up, but I'm also up. I'm gonna make sure that I'm good first, and then I can take care of everybody else, and that's where I am right now.
So, one, congratulations, right? Like, that's a
Thank you.
big loss. 40 pounds is a lot,
It
like, to
is.
lose.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot one thing. I forgot one thing. So remember I put the $500 deposit down, right? So after I did that, I tried to get my money back because I started Queen Words and I loved it. And I was like, let me just and going on their Facebook page, you saw a lot of everyone's transitions, like transformations before and afters. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I believe that I can see myself doing that. I believe that I can be consistent enough. I don't want to get surgery. I was already super scared of getting surgery, but I was like, nah, it isn't something that I want. So I tried to get my deposit back and they said no. Like I went to the bank, we fought with the bank about it. I signed the contract. They kept that $500. Okay. So that was just money that I gave away. And fast forward again, I started in April consistently until December. December, Queen Warriors did the first Avoid the Holiday Weight Gain Challenge. And I joined that challenge. I did that and I ended up winning $3,000 from that challenge. And I was like, wow. Like to me personally, I love God. I feel like God was like, this is
Yes.
where you were supposed to be. Look, you didn't ever lose. You never lost. This is a game. Look, I'll give it back to you in tenfold. And that's how I felt about it. Like that was definitely a testimony for me. Like
Yes.
just be consistent God got you.
I am so excited to announce that I am a Queen Warrior Ambassador. This lifestyle program, led by Fabiana Ferrini, is all about helping women become a better version of themselves mentally and physically, and I absolutely love it. It has everything from fitness workouts, with Bar and Power being my absolute fave, to mindset coaching and nutrition plans. Ladies, you will not be disappointed. This program hosts live workouts, and they also have replays available for busy bees and moms like me that are on a tight schedule, and you can do it all in the comfort of your home. So, if you are on your journey to confidence and building healthy self esteem, and fitness is a huge part of that for you, I was set up with a special link just for you. You will get a 7-day free trial to the Queen Warrior program. If you want to take full advantage of this offer, head over to the show notes where I will attach the link, and I hope to see you guys in there. Yes, that is such a testimony, first of all. And I definitely believed, I was just thinking that to myself, like, that was definitely God's doing, because you were literally about to put your life on the line. First,
With 3
with
kids.
3 kids, and for, somebody that had negative reviews, number 1, and was affordable. When something's a little affordable, you got to question, like, I don't know about that,
You're so right.
right? So, and you was about to do that, and I was like, "Nope, no, no, no." That means, like, you belong here, right? Because something could have went wrong. Like, you
Yeah.
could have had, like, something could have went wrong during surgery or post surgery, where you had a lot of complications. Like, we hear all these stories all the time about people losing their lives, and just because they did some type of surgery with someone, and that could have been your story, but no, like, you're here for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So that is such an amazing testimony. And I want to ask you, between April and the date that you was actually supposed to get surgery, what was your progress between those days? Did you see any progress being done? Were you losing weight, or you just like the feeling better?
I was definitely losing weight, but I was also gaining a lot of confidence in myself. And that's the one thing, like, people don't, my mindset was, I want to get surgery. Why? To be accepted. Like, I
Yeah.
want to be accepted, but what about my mental health? Right. So that's one thing surgery doesn't give you. And I'm not against it. I'm all for do whatever makes you feel happy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I was going to do that, but my mind wasn't going to go
And
anywhere.
that's
I wasn't going to
important.
grow. I wasn't gonna, who was to say that just because I got it done, I was gonna love myself? What if I even hated it? What if I didn't like it and now I'm struggling even more because I'm uncomfortable with the decision that I made? I'm
Yeah.
uncomfortable with something that I can't even go back on. So I think one of the things from April, when I started Queen Warriors, or I think it was May for Mother's Day, when I started Queen Warriors to the date that I was supposed to have the surgery, I was so thankful that I didn't go through with it. I was so happy with my mental health and my growth and, like, how I was spiritually. Like, no one could tell me anything. I knew that I was on this journey. So now when someone, like, made any comments about my weight or anything, like, it did not bother me, and I kid you not, because I feel like I saw the progress because I took a lot of pictures,
Yeah.
but I also felt inside like, "It's okay, I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
When I get there is when I get there." Like, you have no say on what my journey will be like. Today, I may look like this, but I'm working on it, and I'm working towards it. I'm working towards something. So I think that's what I gained from that.
Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to, mindset. Like, you literally have to force yourself to change your mindset, especially when trying to do a complete transformation, because transformation
Right.
is not easy. Like, it's hard. Like, working out is not easy. It's simple. Get your ass up and work out, right? It's a
Yeah,
simple decision, but it's not an easy journey, like, whatsoever.
not at all.
Is painful, right? Like, you're sweaty, Like, it's a lot. It hurts, and you just have to motivate yourself. And then, especially, I want to touch on what you said, where like there's people who don't understand, right? There's people who don't understand your journey. And sometimes you just have to like get people out of your head. Like, I don't care what you say. I don't
Yes.
care what you say. I don't care what you say. Or don't tell nobody anything. And like I can relate to I share, of course, I'm sharing on the podcast, I'm sharing like, deep things.
Mhm.
However, there's a lot of things like if I'm doing something like a new business or whatever, I don't tell nobody unless they're on the same mindset level or above the mindset level that I want to be, because I need not one person to say, I don't think you should do that, or that's going to be too hard, or can you do that? Because it would just deter you. Like it would literally just deter you from becoming the best version of yourself.
So
And I'm
true.
so happy that you were able to like push through like anybody who had anything negative to say. And so what did your husband cuz he was against it at first. What was his
Mhm.
thoughts? Like did that motivate him? Cuz sometimes we motivate people like without like if they see that you keep going and you
Yes.
keep going, because they don't believe it until they see it. And that's something that I'm learning, like nobody's going to believe anything until they see it happening for you, and then they're gonna want to know, oh, how did you do that?
Right, exactly. He was so once I wanna say in the first 2 months, I already saw a difference in, like, structure, just, like, the way my clothes fit, everything. But I think he noticed, like, how happy I was to get dressed. Like, how because, when you're in this struggle, it's like you don't wanna put clothes on. Me, at least, I didn't wanna get dressed up, I didn't wanna go anywhere because I didn't like the way anything fit. I'm my biggest critic, right? So I didn't like the way but just him seeing I'm getting dressed faster, I'm taking more pictures, I'm happy, and he's one to, like, tell me, "Oh, whoa, look at your butt." Like, "Look at your body, like, wow, what am I'm not gonna have any stomach to grab, you don't have anything left." Like, like, little cute things like that, and I think that and him seeing me on the days that I didn't want to work out, because I'm not gonna say this was perfect, this was a perfect journey, and every day I was looking forward to it, because I wasn't, I made a lot of excuses. He would be like, "No," he'll put it on the TV for me, or he'll roll out the mat, or he'll prep a little energy drink for me or something, and he'd be like, "Here," and then I'd be fighting him the whole way. I said, "I don't wanna do it." And then once I would get it done, I'd be like, "Thank you, babe, so much for making me do it," because
Exactly.
it just feels so good. Once you get through like the, "Oh, this is hard, this hurts, I'm tired." Once
Mhm.
you get through that mindset and you push through and you do it anyway, it's like, "Oh, I'm so thankful that I did this."
Yeah, and it's so good to have someone like on your team. Like that's awesome that he was like, "No, you gonna work out," because he liked the person that you were becoming. He's like, "Oh no, I,
Yes.
I love this Alexis. I want to keep this Alexis.
We get
Like
out
this
the
is
house way faster now.
yes, this is the Alexis that I want to keep." And you look happy. Like, like when I first met you, I was like, okay, body, yada, yada. And I would have never thought, like, when a lot of the girls that I saw, like in Orlando, is when I see, like, now that I know them, we follow each other, right? And we see like their old pictures, you be like, wow,
It's
you would have never
crazy.
thought. It's so crazy. And like just even seeing your transformation, I'm just like, oh my God, I would have never thought that it was like that before.
Yep, and
Like
that's
you
how it
sometimes
was.
never see people's journey. You just see what you see, right? Until people actually share it. And your journey, like that's an amazing journey. And that's an amazing story, because let me say, there's a lot of women out here who want to get surgery, who literally, because they one, either they don't want to do the work, right? They don't want to do
Mhm,
the work.
yep,
They just want to
true.
say, nope, I don't want to work out. But that's the thing, you're gonna do that. But then what happens if you still don't work out? Like you're gonna gain it all back.
And you don't learn to the value in
Yeah.
appreciating it's like when you get something for free versus when you work for something, right? So, like, when you get something for free, you don't even see the value in it because you didn't have to work for it. But when you have to work for it, you wanna take care of it. You wanna treat it better. You look at it way differently than as opposed to if you just got it, because now you don't know how to take care of it. How are you gonna maintain it?
Exactly. And a lot of people don't know that whatsoever. And so I think I remember you saying like you had people telling you like to stop working out, right? Like, why are you working out?
Oh my god. Yeah. So funny. The same person who told me that I am big, right? That same person told me, I think I wanna say it was a year in between. I wanna say it could have been months, but it was a year in between, I think. Told me, "Why are you working out? You need to stop working out because you already have someone who loves you just the way you are." And at the time, I'm really like the not like I said, I'm not gonna sit there and argue or whatever, and what I said was, "I like working out. I like working on myself." But the truth is, it doesn't matter who loves you if you don't love you, right? It doesn't matter how much someone likes you the way that you are because honestly, people
That
wake up
part.
and have different feelings every single day, but I need to be okay with who I am. I wanna be happy with me. I wanna love me. So that was the real reason as to why I of course didn't pay any attention to those comments, but it's like you don't even get it. This is for me. This is not for the outside validation. Yeah, I post pictures. Yeah, I post videos. Yeah, I love to see myself and edit and do all these things and get likes, but this is for me. Don't ever get it twisted that I need someone else's love for me is enough because only my love for me can be enough.
That's exactly what it's all about. How do you feel about yourself?
Seriously.
Right?
Right? Because what if okay, I have this love, but I'm not happy. I'm still gonna be depressed. I'm still not gonna wanna move forward. I'm still not gonna be motivated to do anything because I don't have the
Yeah.
self-love to do that.
And are you consistent now? How's it now?
Oh. Okay, I make sure I get at least 1 workout in every
Mhm.
single week, right? But I aim
Okay.
for 3. I aim for 3. If it's a bad week, I'll tell myself, "Alright, at least do 1." But I think that because I lost the weight and I like the way that I look right now, I'm not going as hard as I was going when I wanted to get here. Now that I'm here, now that, like, I see the number, I see the body, yeah, of course, there's still things that I wanna fix and change, but, now that I'm here, I'm not too consistent with going hard every single day. I still go back to my program, I still go onto the Facebook group and read and try to, encourage other girls when I can, but honestly, like me personally, I love more the now I'm taking in the self-affirmation part of it. Like, like taking those things from the program. So like listening to Jennifer give her, talks about just mental health growth and things like that.
Yeah, I love that. And I know you write and you read books. Do you read like any self-development books?
Yes. So actually I was like, I want to write down some books that I really love so I can
Yeah, I
tell
would love
people.
that.
So, first and foremost, I would say for any woman that's ready to just take her journey and just get in a different mind space, I feel like number one, we have to detox a little bit from like the internet, the media, social media.
Yes.
We're being fed like way too much things. We're comparing ourselves to way too many different things. And I took this summer that just passed, I took 3 months off of social media. And honestly, those were the most clarifying months for me. Those were the months that I took to try to figure out like, I've always loved writing, but I've never written a book. So,
Yeah.
like, those that was the time that I took for me to think about, things that I wanna do and listen and read books and listen to books and feed myself something else. So, if I can give any advice to anyone, I would say you don't have to go as extreme as going 3 months without social media, but definitely take breaks because it's too much and it's a lot of negativity out there. And as much as we don't want it to affect us, it
It
does.
does.
It really does. So, and then one book that I read during the summer that I loved, What Happened to You by Oprah Winfrey.
What happened to you?
And yeah, What Happened to You
Mm.
by Oprah Winfrey and Bruce Perry. And it basically dives deep into childhood, the way we grew up, the way we were raised, and just the things that we were exposed to that created the person that we are today or the people that become, and how much like dealing with that trauma can help you grow as an adult and things like that. And I think that honestly, it even created a conversation where I called my mom and I'm like, hey, these are the things that I feel like definitely were triggering in my childhood, things that I feel like we never spoke about. it was just something that we moved on from. And I would really like to have a conversation about it. And I did. And we did have a conversation. And that moved mountains because I feel like sometimes we're stuck. Like we have PTSD without even knowing
Yeah.
that we have it. So that book was a good one. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
Yeah, I heard that's a
I
good
think
one.
that's how you say his name. Yeah, and I even listened to it, and I'm the type of person, I have 3 boys, my life is constantly going, so I would put it on Audible and listen to it while I'm cleaning the house, washing the dishes, things like that, but it's a good one, and I wanna listen to it again. And, Peace from Broken Pieces by Ayanna
Van
Van
Zant,
Zandt.
girl, I don't know.
Yes.
Everybody know who you talking about.
Yes, her. From Broken Pieces. That book is good. Yeah, Peace from Broken Pieces. So those are the books that if you want to start, I recommend those 3. They're so good.
Yes, I love that. They're gonna love this. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you spoke to your mom. Did you
Mhm.
did you ever talk to her about the stuff you went through in middle school and your like insecurities about yourself? You still didn't touch on that.
I
Oh,
didn't.
why?
I never did. I don't because I feel like they're so premature. So like personally, I didn't I it was like there were so many bigger things that happened in our lives
Yeah,
that being made fun of in school for my teeth or always feeling ugly or always like having things pointed out because of
that
that. I
shape
didn't want to,
you.
yeah. So I kind of, it did
Mhm.
really. And I'll probably call like, hey, mom, kids used to really pick on me in school. She's so funny. So she'll be like, all right, so let's go beat them up. Like,
Uh-huh.
I do not condone violence, guys. I'm just saying, but yeah, like that would be more her response. But you're right. Probably just getting it out is a way of letting it go.
It sets
I
you
think that's
free.
true. Yeah.
It really
Because
does.
I definitely felt free after I brought up, the things that we went through growing up. And it was kind of something like now I don't even think about it anymore when I was thinking about it
Yeah.
before. So it's definitely freeing to open up.
Yeah, and maybe you don't even need to tell her because you're telling the whole world right
Yeah,
now.
true. I'm like, "Hey, mom, go listen to Becoming Confident podcast so you can hear
Yeah.
what I went through."
Oh my gosh, yes, girl. Oh man, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you for even taking that step. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. It is the world's largest online therapy platform service. See, I know how important it is when you're on your becoming confident journey to prioritize your mental health. Back in April 2022 is when I started BetterHelp. I was falling apart and I was ready to just give up. However, I knew that giving up wasn't an option. What I absolutely love about BetterHelp is that I was able to choose a woman of color and someone who was faith based. Both super important to me. They found me a licensed therapist within 24 hours, and I've been rocking with her ever since. Now, did I mention that it's 100% online? Yeah, we love that, right? So, if you are ready to make your mental health a priority on your becoming confident journey, BetterHelp is giving you 15% off your first month when you sign up using my link that will be placed in the show notes. And you can just enter my code Cleopatra Williams, or you can just go ahead to betterhelp.com/Cleopatra Williams. I hope this helps you guys. Okay. I want to ask you what you know now, right? What are some things, maybe one, maybe multiple, that you wish you can tell your younger self?
Ooh, it's gonna get better. I feel like a lot of the times because you know how we said, like, most of the times you can't see past the storm, you can't see past the cloud, like, you're just in the moment and it feels like the worst moment ever. I feel like a lot of my struggles, a lot of the things is because I couldn't see that it would actually get better. I couldn't see how, I couldn't see in what way. Like, I just thought that it's just gonna stay bad for life. So, if I could tell my younger self anything, it would be stay consistent. It will get better. Everyone goes through life, but you just have to live it. You have to learn from it. This is a lesson. This is a season. This is not for life. And I think that's what I would tell myself.
I love that. What is one of your favorite quotes? Do you have one?
I don't. Let me think. Oh, I love Maya Angelou, but I don't have a specific quote from her that I love. Not right off the top of my head. Oh wait, sorry, I lied. Phenomenal woman. That's me.
I love it. what was the last TV show that you binge watched?
Favorite show that I'm not even gonna lie to you. Have you seen Snowfall?
No, tell me about it.
I it
I
is
get
nothing
excited.
it's nothing positive. I'm gonna tell you this. So Snowfall is about a kid who he goes to school, he reads a lot, he does all these things, but he's helping his mom, right? Make money and stuff like that. And then he gets into selling drugs. So once he gets into
Mhm,
selling drugs, he becomes like one of the biggest drug dealers, like, and now his family's
mhm.
turning against him. Everyone's turning against him, and he's basically fighting through to stay on top and be like number one. I love it. I love Snowfall so much. It's so good.
Okay, in one sentence, who is your most confident self?
Ooh, my most confident self was 31-year-old me. So I just turned 32 in February. 31 was my year. Once I got into my 30s, I kind of became this person who would cut people off that isn't like the energy isn't reciprocated. I'm not being poured into the way that I'm pouring into you. Actually, you're beating me down. So I have to let you go. So even as far as like I said, those comments of like my weight all the time and things like that, I had to get away from those type of people. So once I turned 31, I really only surrounded myself with people like that have, like you said, the ability to tap into the bigger mindset, bigger goals, bigger things, because I don't want to stay stagnant. I don't want to stay in the same place for life. So in order for me to do that, I needed to grow and be around that. So 31-year-old me was my most confident self, the self that went to summit, the self that took risks and believed that I'm her. Like, yes, I can be confident. I can get through my goals. I can get through the bad days. I can get through everything. 31-year-old me.
And you're 32 right now.
And I just turned 32 2 weeks ago.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
So who is she gonna look like now, right? Because that's the past. And I love that you're like, yeah, that was me. I was confident. And yes to cutting people off who no longer serve you. And it's not saying that you're better than them. It's just stating that the
No,
energies just don't align anymore. Right?
exactly. Like, I deserve love.
Yes.
I deserve the same love that I give.
Absolutely. So what does she look like now at 32 years
So
old? Describe
32,
her to me.
the theme for 32 for me is motion. Now I have the tools.
Yeah.
Now I learned everything that I needed to learn. There's no more waiting. There's no more being afraid to push forward. 32 is about motion. 32 is about becoming more, being a better me, finishing my book, doing all the goals that I have set for myself and my children and
I love
everything, actually
that. You got
accomplishing now.
goals.
That's what 32 looks like to
She's
me.
like, yes to becoming the best version of
Thank you.
myself. Like that's a goal right
Hi,
there,
Tori.
right? To be the best
Yes,
version of yourself. I love that. And I can't wait for your
it
book.
is.
We can't wait for your book because you put it out to the world and we ready to listen to this book
Thank
that
you.
Alexis is about to put out.
Yes.
So we're holding you accountable. It's coming.
Okay, just
That's
wait for
okay.
it.
It's coming. It takes time, but
It
done is better
does.
than perfect. I just want to say that to you. Done is better than
Yes.
perfect, so don't try to be perfect.
Okay. I needed that because I am so nitpicky.
Mhm.
So, like, is this ready to even be put out there? But I needed that. Thank you.
All right, Alexis. So before we go, is there anything we haven't covered that you want to cover?
Um, no, but there is one thing that I just want to tell women.
Okay.
We have it the hardest in society. I don't care what anyone says. I feel like we have it really hard because we're supposed to be these perfect moms and these perfect wives and these perfect people and hardworking and have a good body. And, it's just so much pressure on us from when we're young that we're not really given the time to freely think and freely become and freely just be. So, if I can leave you with anything out there, just be you. Be comfortable being you. Be comfortable being happy no matter if someone else doesn't see why or doesn't see your value. You see your value. You be and be great in this world because there's only one you, and our time is literally ticking as we speak. Our time is ticking as you listen. You don't have time to waste. Do it now.
I love you.
I love you.
Isn't she awesome? Like her energy is just so like you can't help but smile when you are around you. Like your energy is absolutely amazing, girl.
Thank you.
I remember, I will never forget this moment when we were sitting on the balcony and I think we was, I don't know what we was doing, but you was going to post a video of us and you were like, wait, are you guys okay with me posting this video? And I will never forget that because let me tell you, there's a lot of people who do not care. Like, if your friend is looking ugly for that picture, or if this is something that she may not let you put up, but you like took a second to even just like ask us, is it okay if I post this picture? And I swear I will never forget that. Mom was like, yo, she's real.
Thank you.
Like she is definitely real because a lot of people won't care at all. And I love that.
But I love people, and I love for people to love themselves. I would never want to. How many pictures have we seen out there that we're like, oh my God, why did
A
they post
lot.
that? Why? Do you see? You're gonna say you didn't see the double chin? Are you serious right now? Like there's so many things.
They see it. They're looking at themselves though.
Yes. So I like to make sure that I always have consent when I'm doing anything. Like, you good with this? All right, we're good then.
And this is why I
Thank
want to tell
you.
you that you are not a burden. Like, you're not going to be a burden to anybody. Like, you deserve to be listened to and heard always. I don't even know why you didn't start a podcast, girl, because you like to talk.
I'm like, dang, I probably went over her time. I'm just talking.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Like you like to talk and don't worry. I love it. This was an amazing episode. I feel like there's going to be a lot of listeners out here who can really relate to one wanting to do their body, right?
Yes.
Just from comparison. I remember you touched on comparison, social media. Absolutely. Like if you detox from social media, I don't know how many people I unfollowed last year just because I was comparing myself or
Yeah.
muted. And these are not saying that you have to unfollow all bad people. Like they're not toxic.
Right.
It's just that if you see yourself comparing yourself to like who they are, their life, is because you're low key jealous or
Yeah.
envious of, they have something that you want. And if you're not at the level to just, accepting yourself and loving yourself, unfollow.
Yeah.
Like do what you have to do. Comparison is literally the thief of joy and it's going to
Yes.
rob you from your experience of growth. So I'm so happy that you even like touched on that because it's so real. It happened to me. When I was dancing, I was like, I was for a second, like I didn't want to dance no more because I was comparing myself to so many people.
Instead of just going through your process. But that was the thing that I did forget to say, that I ended up, when I started working out with Queen Warriors, I ended up deleting all the surgeons that I had followed and all that, because I was just following them because I wanted to do that. And constantly seeing that made me want to do it more. Like, oh, it's so easy. So once I unfollowed that, a lot of what I started to follow was like self affirmations and like pages with quotes and things like that. And I felt like that's what I want to see every day. I want to see
Yeah.
some positivity. I can't afford to just always see the negative or see the things that are not good for me. So that's another big thing. Make sure you change your environment too and your social media. Switch it up. Add pages that make you feel good. Add colorful. You like to do house decorations? Add those type of pages, because there's so many things out there, but not everything's good for us.
That part. Not everything is good for us. Not everything we need to like take in because we take in things that we don't necessarily intend to take in as
Right.
well. It's going to happen. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Yes. So tell listeners where they can find you.
Hi, guys. So you can find me on Instagram at she's.so.mini, M-I-N as in Nancy, Y. And it's so funny. People think that mini is because I'm short. I'm really short and small in
Yes,
person.
yes.
No, that stands for, I'm going to give you a little tea. Nobody knows this. That stands for Made in New York. Ooh, I always rep my city. And on TikTok, if you want to follow me, my workout journey page is HER.story. So like history, but it's her story.
You got that, guys. And I'm going to leave all the information in the show notes. So, yeah, thank you so much, Alexis, for being here. This was such an amazing conversation.
I loved it.
Alrighty, girl. I'll see you,
Bye.
Bye. As a disclaimer, I hope with anything that has been shared in this episode, no one takes anything personally. Please be compassionate and know that being vulnerable is not easy. If you are on a becoming confident journey or you're ready to start your journey, always remember that this is a journey, not a race. I know that we all want to get to the finish line, but it takes time and dedication. And if you don't stop, you will get there. Cheers to becoming your most confident self. Thank you so much for listening to Becoming Confident, Journey to Building Healthy Self-Esteem podcast with me, your host, Cleopatra Williams. If you want to be the first to know of new episode releases, of new resources, and get some weekly dose of inspiration, subscribe to my weekly newsletter. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok, both at __Cleopatra__. And shoot me a DM. I would love to know your thoughts on this episode. While you're at it, go ahead and follow Becoming Confidence page at Becoming Confident Journey on Instagram. And lastly, tell a friend, sister, cousin, mother, someone who you think can relate to this show. I'm leaving all information in the show notes. Kindly support this show by subscribing on any platform you listen to and also rate and review on Apple Podcasts. And that is all for this episode. Until next time, okay? Bye.